Hello and good evening, everyone. Welcome to Officer 24/7. My name is Niharika Walia Bhatnagar, and I am with you with the area of AFM. In the last class, we had started. Actually, in this series, I'm covering the entire different questions which can come in the examination, along with a mixture of PYQs, yani previous year questions. So, first of all, if you like this particular session, then please go ahead and share it among your peers and like it as well. Number two, for individual chapters, what you can do is you can watch out for the entire playlist which was there in the previous area. It was known as Sankalp series, right? The particular series was going on. You can review our series that was there. There are two series which were going on. For JIIB, this was the specific series which we had taken up. For the specific area, it was Achievers series. The name of the particular series was Achievers, in which I've covered individual chapters separately. And now I've started with the mixed series, which is a cluster of multiple chapters that I'm covering every single day in the form of questions. Today, we are going to have a mixture of practical as well as theory questions. And we are also going to cover standard costing as well as today it's more of module A, B, and module D. So let's begin with the session, everyone. First of all, please like it and share it among your peers. Here comes the practice questions. The first question says, which of the following is not a method of charging depreciation? Sinking fund, sum of year digit, working hours, or the asset life cycle method? What's the answer, everyone? See, sinking fund is a given method, है ना? Then second point is sum of year digit is also a method. Working hours is also a method. Asset life cycle जैसा कोई method नहीं है. There is no method named this asset life cycle. So in this case, what's correct and what's not? Asset life cycle. There is nothing called asset life cycle, everyone. ठीक है? Okay. Let's move on to the answer there. Asset life cycle, as I told you. Okay. Now let's move on to the next question. Amount due on the calls made but not paid is known as what? We have some amount which is due but we haven't paid it yet. What will you call it, everyone? Amount due, matlab basically the amount due simply means the amount that we have already made due. Matlab it is currently we have asked people but they haven't paid yet. It is calls in advance. If people pay in advance, it is called calls in advance. Calls in arrears is the calls outstanding. When we talk about these areas, na, calls in arrear, calls in advance, after the introduction of demat account, these two things are gone. They don't exist anymore now. Done. Now comes unpaid amounts or the defaulting amount. These are not even something which is written to the area of share capital at all. Only the part which is relevant is basically calls in advance and calls in arrears. Done, everybody? So in this case, the correct answer is demat account, and we are talking about calls in arrears is the one. ठीक है? The answer is calls in arrears. चलिए, now let's talk about the next point. The matching concept matches the following. अच्छा पता है, most of the time I've seen that bankers make mistake. Rather, not only bankers, everybody who is relating to this area of accounting, na, the beginners normally make this mistake. The mistake is the matching concept matches with which of the following. Now people think that the dual aspect concept is this only. That means debit side is equal to credit side, but that's not the case. Assets with liabilities, capital with income, revenue with expenses, or expenses with capital. What's the answer in this case, everyone? It is not debit equal to credit. But always remember, it is dual aspect concept, that every debit has a similar amount, or actually the equal amount of credit. Total of debit side and total of credit side will always match. Obviously the amounts can vary on both the sides, right? It's going to be assets with the liabilities, capital with income, revenue with expenses, expenses with capital. In this case, the matching concept matches which of the following? Matching concept is basically matching concept is based upon one thing. See, randomly I was telling you कि पता है I earned 10 lakh this year. You said cool, that's your income ना. मैं कहा yes, this is my income, 10 lakh. But पता है, to earn this 10 lakh I had to spend 8 lakhs. Now when I said to earn 10 lakh this year, I spent 8 lakh this year. This will give me 2 lakh of profit for this year. Not previous year, not current year or anything. This is purely based upon current year situations. So in this case, the answer is revenue with expenses. That's the correct answer, isn't it? Done everyone? So this is matching concept. The current year income and current year expenses will give us the current year profit and loss account, giving us the information regarding current year profits on which we pay income tax. You don't pay tax for something which is related to previous years until or unless it is basically black money which is found out by the government itself, and income tax has opened the window and you are paying 300% of something. Yeah, this happens. If you in case of black money, 300% of it can go. Anyhow, let's move on to the next point. A company receives a dividend of X2 lakhs on its investments in other companies. In case of finance companies, it will be classified under which kind of activity? See, company receives a dividend. Maybe companies invested this money somewhere. You know, only then they will receive dividends. No? Cash flow from operating activities, cash flow from investing activities, cash flow from investing, operating, financing. There are 3 overall areas. And the next point that arises is the area of no cash flow. So there is nothing called no cash flow as you are receiving the money, you know. In this case, you are receiving dividend. Done. What's the answer? You are receiving dividend probably because in case of finance company. Everyone, I am not someone who belongs to this area, right? That is true, na? I am not someone who belongs to the financial world. I work a lot and then every day I'm earning my salaries. This means what is happening, everyone? Due to this way of earnings, what's happening? For me, shares is an investment. But there's a person who has a business and he's into trading. He says every single day I have to buy and sell these assets. I don't want to keep it with me. You know, that's one sorted area. That means for them, he doesn't want to keep one particular investment purpose for a longer period. He says, I'll be trading on equity, I'll be trading every single day. I'll buy and sell. So what's going to be the answer in this case? The answer in this case is going to be operating, investing or financing. For him, it's a daily business. Finance company matlab interest dividend is such a normal thing कि ठीक है ये तो आना ही था. This is for everyday basis. So for them, it's an operating activity. For you and me, it would be like अच्छा, other than our salary income, we are getting something else as well. Okay, what are we getting? We have some investments from where we are getting money. So in that case, it will turn out to investing activity. For any business which is involved in the production area, production is their operating activity, but shares, debentures, bonds, investments are their investing activity. Done? Next point. Let's move on to the next question, everyone. Low current ratio indicates what? पता है current ratio is what? Current ratio is CA divided by CL. Current ratio is one of the liquidity ratios. Business cannot meet long-term liability. Business can meet long-term liability. Business cannot meet short-term or can meet short-term. Acha everyone, normally if I haven't, let me tell you about all these points together. Ideally, in our books, we are always given that ideal ratio of current ratio is 2:1. To pay off 1 rupee of creditor, I should be having 2 rupees in my pocket, that even after making a payment, I'm still left with 1 rupee. That means that all the time, to meet any kind of contingencies, any specific payments that I have to make, 1 rupee is always with me. है ना? Now, if this ratio is low, now if it is 1.2:1, that means for every 1 rupee of creditor, I am having 1.2 of asset. Matlab, in case all the creditors come at once, I'm left with just 0.2 rupees. Will this be enough for my monthly sustenance? If not, that means I will face liquidity crunches. Matlab, the moment anybody will come other than the creditors, I need money, I'll have to say no to them. And maybe it's someone who's reputed, someone who's testing me over credibility, that can create a trouble. At the same time, if this is bad, then think about someone who is having 3:1. You are required to have 1 rupee in your pocket. You keep maximum 2. If you are keeping 3, your 1 rupee is completely waste. If that 1 rupee would have been invested in some interest in based incomes, you would have earned. है ना? The money doesn't really multiply in our wallets, isn't it? But it multiplies outside it. So in this case, can we say the business cannot meet short-term liability, isn't it? Okay, so in this case, liquidity is the point. That in case the organization needs money, they face liquidity crunches. When a shareholder fails to pay calls, the company, if empowered by its articles, may. Everyone, surrender the shares, forfeit the shares, reissue the shares, or all of the above. Surrender of shares matlab anybody is not able to pay and he comes to me and says, I am sorry, I will not be able to pay. And I said, okay, now you will never be the shareholder of this company. Now he's basically coming up himself. If I kept on asking your money is due, your money is due, your money is due, and he doesn't pay, and then I get irritated with the fact that he's not paying, and then they will then I will remove their name. The difference is in surrender, we don't remove their name. They come up and say, please remove my name. In the second case, we are forcefully removing their names because they are not paying the money. You know? And then is reissue. Once you forfeit the shares, then you have the power to reissue as well. Give the share to someone else. Na? What's bad in it? So in this case, the correct answer is forfeiture. This is not at the option. First of all, you have the option of this, only then this can happen. People don't surrender their shares that easily. Up to khair, all these 3 points are out. Thanks to DMAT, either you pay or you don't buy the share. That's it. There's nothing called forfeiture anymore. In the practical world, done. Next question. If the total sources of the funds are of rupees 2 lakh and the total application of funds, so this is fund flow question, everyone, then the working capital is what? Everyone, if the total sources of funds, acha, in case of fund flow, na, we have sources and we have application. Sources, they have got 2 lakh. How can we have 2 lakh and spend 2 lakh 50? That means there was working capital involved as well. That means the working capital will be here. Is it decrease in by working capital or increase by working capital, or is it not affected, or none of the above? The correct answer in this area is decrease by 50,000. You need funds here for application. That means you'll take this money from working capital, right? Done, everybody? Any doubts in this area? To fulfill your 2,50,000 needs, you will have to take 50,000 out of your working capital. Otherwise, how will they work? They will face problems, na? That's why. Done? The answer is A. Very good, everyone. Moving on to the next question. Which of the following would be included in fund flow? Fund flow statement is different from cash flow because cash flow is obsessed with only movement of cash. Fund flow says no, I'm not obsessed with cash. I work with the funds that you are yet to receive and the amount that you are yet to pay. I also consider that part as well. So the broader perspective is of fund flow. Depreciation, dividend, goodwill, or patent. Depreciation charges are to be adjusted. They are actually removed. Goodwill and patent. The purpose is if depreciation is of tangible assets. And amortization is for intangible. In both the cases, there is no movement of funds. I can just say my car is getting old and I can claim the loss because I'm using it in the business. So all of these are not in a form of any flow of funds. So correct answer is dividend. Because there is either receiving or giving. है ना? That's the answer, everyone. Which of the following is a characteristic of process cost accounting? Material, labor, overhead are accumulated by orders. Companies use this system if they process custom orders. Opening and closing stock and work in progress are related. Only closing stock is related, or none of the above. Acha nahi. In the examination, you will have only 4. Okay? The 5th one is not there. So now this becomes easier. In the process costing, what happens is everyone, acha theek hai. I am involved in paper making. In case of paper, they get the bark of the trees, they make it wet, they clean it up, and then it is compressed into paper paste, and then paper is made out of it, and it's a blank paper. You do something with it. It's a process overall, है ना? It's a lengthy process. So in this case, we already are done on the 31st of March. Obviously, now the entire stock is over, है ना? So we have the opening stock, we process it, and we have the closing stock as well. So opening and closing stock of the work in progress are related in the terms of completed. units. Okay, in this case you have opening, raw material, WIP and the finished goods. Even the WIP is stated in such a way that 30% of this part is done, 40% of this part, 30% of this part is going on. So you have in the process costing, we have this much definitions of clarity of what exactly the work is already done or not. Okay? Acha. Now, this is the end of the session, everyone. But before I end my session, there's something important that I would like to discuss. Have you gone through our portal yet? Because at this point of time, there are many benefits which are available for you, which are ending soon. Okay, let me tell you. Go on to our website, www.adda247.com. Best thing is download the app. I'll tell you why. Go down, go towards the area of JAIIB and CAIIB. Go on to the area of JAIIB, CAIIB, Mahapack. Mahapack, why? You go and buy JAIIB, CAIIB, Mahapack today. Double validity matlab, you buy it for 1 year, get it for 2 years. 2 years is not a small time. You've invested 12,000. Nahi. Click on buy now. Then use the code Y541. Apply the Y541, you'll get for 11,023. 2 years and 11,023 rupees. What does this mean, everyone? If you do the calculation properly, this is not even 500 per month for 12 months. Sorry, for 24 months. You know? Perfect to go for JAIIB plus CAIIB. 2 years are enough to prepare for both of them. This includes their regular classes, English medium, bilingual, then even revision batches, CAIIB, all 5, even the optional subjects are included. Matlab you don't have to choose and pay for it. You have all those covered in it. Once you pay this 11,023.95 rupees, rather you can reduce it further by roughly 100 rupees if you go for our app. That is why it is required. That means you will get for 10,000 something. Think about it, everyone. With 10,000 rupees, you are getting the entire JAIIB, entire CAIIB, all the resources, all the previous classes, current batches which are going on, and whatever batch will come up in the next 2 years, right? Everything is opened up for you. You don't have to pay a single penny. If you feel that, nay, I just want only the JAIIB, then what can you do? Let me show you. Go on to the area of JAIIB Mahapack. Under the Mahapack, click on this area. Click on the area of Y541. As soon as you apply it, you will get it for 6298.95. Matlab, you will get it for 6298.95. Little less than that if you're going for 80%. The entire JAIIB is available for you for 1 year. It's available for 1 year for 6,000 something rupees. Technically around 500 rupees per month. Economically enough, right? So if you're planning to look forward towards JAIIB or CAIIB, go for the Mahapacks right now because double validity is going on. It is ending soon. Before it ends, go ahead and purchase it, everyone. Now check it out on our website or in our app for further details. Thank you so much for being there. We'll be meeting in the next class.